Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Thursday. That means we're brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef, working towards the weekend. Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. We are fired up. You are here. Y'all, there's so much to talk about today. The Saints had a joint practice with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and other than the fact that Jordan Tyson left the practice, which is not good, it appeared that a lot of things went really well. So we'll talk about that. LSU got a basketball player. Maybe. But probably, possibly, maybe, but yes, maybe. And we'll talk about that. LSU practice this morning. I was there. We can talk about that. Like, there are lots of things to do. Matthew Paris from The Advocate's going to come on a little bit later. Plenty of meat on the bone today. So, of course, what's our opening drive? Number talk? Let's do it.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
All right, so by now, you're all very well aware of what's going on with the number 5 on LSU's campus. DJ Pickett switched to number 5 this year. We told you that. Lane Kiffin went to the microphone 2 weeks ago, said, yeah, he was promised it in recruiting. We said, well, we talked to people involved. We'll give him the number. Okay. A week later, ESPN, Mark Slabaugh reports that Jayden Daniels has sent a cease-and-desist letter to LSU saying, you cannot use my name, image, and likeness anymore. And then we got to practice this morning. DJ Pickett still in number 5. Matt Moscona reports on LouisianaSports.net, having spoken with multiple sources on multiple sides of this equation, says that Pickett, in his negotiations to come to LSU and to stay at LSU, put the number there. LSU spoke to Jayden Daniels' camp about the number. They were not thrilled about it. LSU made a decision to follow through and give DJ Pickett the number, which has not been retired. You know that part of the story. All that's there. So now we'll just give Hunt's opinion on this, right? It comes from 4 different people in this circumstance. 4 people. I will address them one by one. The first is 2023 Heisman Trophy winner Jayden Daniels. One of the greatest athletes in the history of LSU football, one of the greatest seasons in the history of LSU athletics, a Heisman Trophy winner, 2nd overall pick, and a guy who over 2 years here did nothing but create goodwill. Incredible play, wonderful representation of the university, award winner, awesome. Great over the course of 2 years as a transfer quarterback. You've got DJ Pickett, former 5-star recruit, cornerback, played last year, On3's National Defensive Player of the Year as a true freshman. You got Brian Kelly, who recruited DJ Pickett and brought him here with the understanding that Pickett would eventually wear number 5. And then you've got Lane Kiffin, who's now dropped into this situation where you've got a sophomore cornerback who's a very good player at a position that doesn't have a lot of depth, who wants the number 5. You didn't coach Jayden Daniels. You talked to Jayden Daniels' camp. They're not happy about it, so you got to decide between a Heisman winner from 3 years ago and your cornerback. These are the 4 people. We start with Jayden. I don't understand this one single second. I don't understand it. I'm saying this out loud. There are 2 possible outcomes here. You tell me what sounds better. 2 outcomes. 1, LSU awards DJ Pickett number 5, which they made clear they were going to do. They told Jayden about it. They asked him how he felt about it, but this was going to happen. So there are 2 reactions you can have. 1 is to say, well, I'm not really happy about that. I built a legacy on number 5. I won a Heisman Trophy. No one's worn it since. No one's worn Joe Burrow's number 9 since. I'm not happy about this, but go ahead and let DJ Pickett wear the number, and I'll have my day in Tiger Stadium moving forward. Bummed about it, but oh well. 2, you say, I don't like this at all. don't do that. Okay, you did give him number 5. Well, here's a cease and desist. Take my pictures off the wall. Give me my Heisman Trophy back. Don't use my image and likeness in the pregame hype video with the touchdown pass to Mason Taylor, and I'm never coming back. But I proved my point. I showed y'all. What? Jayden Daniels, in this cease and desist, his camp says that they feel disrespected by LSU. Can I suggest to you that the ultimate form of respect from a university in a football program is to put the number 5 on the facade of the south end zone where it lives for immortality, which was definitely going to happen for Jayden Daniels? How much more respect can you be given? No, there is nothing more respectful, but you're not eligible for that yet, and they haven't done it for Burrow yet. Your day is coming. Just hold on. In no way is DJ Pickett wearing number 5 tarnishing Jayden Daniels' legacy as a Heisman-winning quarterback who set multiple LSU and SEC records. It just doesn't. I wrote this in my column. Kevin Falk set the SEC record for touchdowns. He walked off the field to the New England Patriots, and Jarrell Myers got the number. Does anybody walk around here and say, man, they really disrespected Kevin Falk? I know he didn't win the Heisman Trophy, but he's a legend here. Does anybody sit here and suggest that when Paul Skeens left the mound at LSU and they gave his number to Ryan Kucherak the next year, that they were somehow just destroying the legacy of the National Pitcher of the Year, a national champion, and the first pick in the draft? No one even knows Ryan Kucherak wore number 20. It's insane to suggest that this is blatant disrespect for Jayden Daniels. He says, his camp says, you need to treat me the same way you treat Joe Burrow. You did get treated the same way they treated Joe Burrow. You left and they didn't give 5 to anybody, just like Joe Burrow left and they didn't give 9 to anybody. I've never seen that done with any number here. Never seen it done. And they did that for Joe Burrow, and they did that for Jayden Daniels, treated the exact same. And then a player asked for 5. This has nothing to do with Jayden Daniels versus Joe Burrow and who won a national championship and who didn't and whose defense stunk and whose didn't. If TJ Pickett had asked for 9, they probably do the exact same thing. It is not a Jayden versus Joe thing. And I wrote this in my column for LouisianaSports.net last week when this stuff broke. I said, I feel like Jayden feels like he lives in Joe Burrow's shadow because Joe Burrow's team achieved the ultimate and Jayden's didn't. It's not true. Everyone really appreciates Jayden Daniels, but it's just two different circumstances that were treated the exact same. You got the Burrow treatment. It is not like they held Burrow's number forever and ever, amen, and they just reissued yours to some walk-on 5 minutes after you left. It just didn't happen. This is remarkably immature behavior from Jayden Daniels. Now, he's number 1. Number 2 is DJ Pickett. DJ Pickett has said, and Matt Moscone has reported, that the number 5 is very, very important to him. He's worn it his entire football life from the age of 4. When he was being recruited by Brian Kelly and Corey Raymond, he said, I want to wear number 5. He checked with Oregon. He checked with Miami. He checked with LSU. Now, LSU just had a Heisman winner wear number 5. But DJ Pickett says he was promised he could wear number 5. Now, Brian Kelly is on the record saying, hey, we wanted to check with the Heisman winner, wanted to make sure it was okay, so DJ Pickett wore 3 as a freshman. It would be awesome, as I said last week, if DJ Pickett would show a little maturity and go, you know what, Jayden Daniels did a lot at LSU, won a Heisman Trophy. I can wear 3, I can carve my own legacy in 3, and I'll do that. But he's not doing. He's not doing. So now you've got Lane Kiffin, who gets dropped into this situation where I've got very little depth at cornerback. My best cornerback is demanding to wear this number. And I got a Heisman winner who I didn't coach who's ticked off about it, but I got to keep this guy happy. Lane Kiffin is the only one who, in my estimation, is acting reasonably here. DJ Pickett, and Matt reported this on LouisianaSports.net, said in his negotiation with LSU to come and to stay, 5 was a central part of that. There's playing for Corey Raymond, the best defensive backs coach in the country. There's playing for LSU, DBU. There is playing in the Southeastern Conference. There's playing in Tiger Stadium. There's all the facilities, all the resources at LSU. Oh, by the way, there's like some classes they take every once in a while. All that stuff stacked up in priority, and 5 somehow comes to the top. That is insane. It's insane. Now, Jayden Daniels doesn't own number 5, but we could all take a step back here and go, he's not comfortable with that. Let's just move forward, not ruffle any feathers. There are so many more important aspects of collegiate football than what number is on your shirt. I feel like I'm dealing with 5th graders. There's one in the NFL. There's one playing cornerback. This is unbelievable that this is what it's come to. Now, ultimately, this is not going to matter in the short term. DJ Pickett's going to go out there and play. Everybody in Baton Rouge hopes he balls out and is an All-American and they win a national championship. That's great. And I predict that Jayden Daniels will cool his jets over time. His camp will cool their jets over time, and realizing that taking your Heisman, shipping it to the high school you went to, and erasing your name completely from LSU is probably not the best decision. That will eventually become. And he'll have his day in Tiger Stadium. And he'll go down on the field, and his number 5 will rightfully be on the south end zone next to Joe Burrow and next to Tommy Casanova and Jerry Stovall and Charles Alexander and Burt Jones and Billy Cannon. And that day will happen for Jayden Daniels once this cools off. I've seen it happen with the Cubs and Sammy Sosa, who was my childhood idol, who was exiled for 20 years. Eventually, people figure this out. The same thing happened with Billy Cannon when he got in trouble. But this right here, it is hard for me to grasp the fact that we have got adults in a room that can't figure out the importance of a jersey number. Jayden, it is not disrespectful. It is not tarnishing your legacy at all. DJ, there are more important things here than putting the number 5 on your chest. I promise. Brian Kelly, I know you got to do what you got to do to get guys on campus, and you try to make things work. Lane Kiffin, you had no shot here, and you picked what was best for your football team this year. I get it. But this is an embarrassing thing for LSU, a ridiculous thing for us to be talking about. And the fact that nobody can be an adult in this room is pretty mind-blowing to me. And the fact that people in both camps, based on Matt's reporting, think that they are in the right on this and the other group is crazy, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. It's a number. This is not 5th grade anymore. Come on, folks. I guess I'll leave that right where it needs to be, and we'll talk about LSU's football practice when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. It is storm season. Hopefully things stay quiet down there, but we know inevitably this part of the world, there are going to be storms that come through. You're going to want that Generac home standby generator at your home or at your business to make sure the power doesn't go out on you. And shop local when you do it. You get a local team to come out and provide that quote. You get a local team to come out and do the installation. You have a local team monitoring that generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if there's a mechanical issue, you know about it. And then you get a local team to come out and fix it, so you have the peace of mind of knowing if that power goes out for that afternoon thunderstorm or that hurricane that comes through, hey, my Generac standby generator is going to come on, and I'm going to be powered up. Call them up, 985-397-1562, 985-397-1562, or in Gonzales, 225-300-9389. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day.
Let's go!
But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
extra reps.
And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake
we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
All right. I'll level with you. I'm sweating after that opening segment. And it's not because it's 105 degrees outside. It's very cool in the studio, actually, and I'm wearing shorts because we had practice. But that's just mind-blowing stuff from everyone involved. Let's move on from it, shall we? First, let me tell you about my friends at the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team really know what they're doing when it comes to group and employee benefits, and they can help you. It starts with a conversation. If you are a business owner or you're a CFO and you're really feeling the squeeze when it comes to your health insurance for your employees, it comes to your dental, your vision, they are not promising you that they can get you a better quote. They are promising you they can have a conversation with you and explore options. So if you've been locked in with one carrier forever and ever and those rates just keep going up and up and up, talk to Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group. They've had some success in recent months in South Louisiana with multiple groups moving carriers and saving money on the bottom line while keeping those benefits where they need to be for your employees. So if you just had a renewal or you're dreading the upcoming renewal and you just want to have a conversation, talk to Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. All right, LSU was on the practice field today. DJ Pickett was in number 5, incidentally. And we got to watch 12 minutes. I told you yesterday we're watching the same thing over and over and over again. But I wanted to start with the objective truths and then get to some of these subjective observations that I had. Winnie Watkins was not at practice. Again, that's the third practice he's missed. Lane Kiffin was asked today about Winnie Watkins missing practice, and he said, we're new to this. We're not going to discuss injuries, so I'll leave that there. But that does suggest that Winnie Watkins was injured. We did report at LouisianaSports.net, Matt was on this, that Watkins was not there on Tuesday, but did come out after the media left and participated a little bit in a no-contact jersey. So Winnie Watkins is dealing with an injury of some sort, but it does not appear, because he did practice on Tuesday, to be something debilitating. So he's not out there while we're out there in the first 12 minutes of practice. Of note, Jabari Mack, who did not practice with the wide receivers, but on his own off to the side on Tuesday, was back with the wide receivers today. He was in a gold no-contact jersey, as was Jace Brown. That doesn't sound great, but Jace Brown was still going through the wide receiver reps in the individual periods and catching some passes from Sam Levitt. He didn't appear to be significantly compromised, but he did have a no-contact jersey on. Trey'Dez Green, of course, no-contact jersey as well. I think that they threw his practice jerseys away. He only gets no-contact jerseys the rest of the way from now on because they don't want Trey'Dez to get hit. So that's the objective part of it. moving to the subjective nature of LSU's workout, I spent a little bit of time watching the linebackers go through drills, and it's just great to see Whit Weeks really moving through, really leading the team, really looking explosive. I just remember him as a freshman, which was now 3 years ago, and he was such a bat out of hell out there. I mean, just moving fast, flying upfield, hitting people, and he was compromised so greatly last year that it just never really looked like that. And it does right now. He is completely healed. He's in full pads. He's not in a no-contact jersey. He's the first one through the drills. They're only hitting sleds and going under that thing that keeps your pad level low and shedding blocks and doing those types of things. But Whit just looks healthy. He's moving, flying around, and it looks really good. I also really think that LSU looks the part from an edge rushing perspective. Lane Kiffin was asked about their edge rushers today and said Prince Will Monmiel had a great day at practice. Prince Will was meeting with the media right when I went live today at 1 o'clock. But you look at him, and he's 6'4", 245 pounds. You look at Jordan Ross on the other side, who is 6'5" and 248 pounds. Like, he's a little bit heavier and an inch taller. I think that Lamar Brown really looks imposing out there as well. He's 290 pounds, 295 pounds. He's not as defined as those guys who have been in a college weight program for 3 or 4 years, but he is big and physical. Trenton Henderson is a guy that Lane Kiffin mentioned when everyone was focusing on Lamar Brown and Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson. He's like, yeah, and Trenton Henderson is actually looking pretty good as well. He's 6'4" and north of 240 pounds. He looks the part. Dylan Carpenter's always looked physically imposing. He hasn't played a lot or been overly productive, but it's not a position group that's as deep as it was because Gabe Relaford is out for the year and because you're not practicing with Damian Shanklin right now, who's away from the team. So the depth numbers aren't exactly what you're looking for, but LSU does look the part out there on the defensive end group. So that's a good sign. I spent a little bit of time with Corey Raymond's group, one to make sure DJ Pickett was in the number 5 today, which, I mean, you got to check it, right? They make a big deal out of it overnight. I got to go see, and he was in fact in number 5, and he was going through drills. He, PJ Woodland, Jakeem Jackson, Haven Finney, Michael Turner. That group, as I mentioned after the first day, it's still a slender group, but Corey Raymond likes that group, and DJ Pickett talked about him today, said that things are going really well, and I did hear Deshaun Spears today talk about the group of corners and how well they've played once they've gone to team drills. This is a position group that I've gotten a really good look at in fall camp with Brian Kelly because he gave us so much access to 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. And those 7-on-7, and especially the 1-on-1s, really cater to the wide receivers. And we saw the wide receivers win a lot of those reps over the years of Brian Kelly giving us those access. But it sounds like this year when they go out there that those corners are really holding their own. Mansour Delane did absolutely last year. DJ Pickett had his struggles last year early on. He was a true freshman out there trying to run with really old wide receiver group with Barryon Brown and Xavion Thomas and guys who are making waves in NFL camps right now. And Aaron Anderson was a real veteran. And Pickett had his struggles last year in camp trying to keep up with those guys. But Corey Raymond kept putting him out there and kept putting him out there, kept putting him out there. And you saw DJ Pickett blossom into a really good player over the course of last year. And I think that the same is going to need to be true for Haven Finney, because it would be awesome if LSU went through this whole season and Pickett and Woodland and Jackson and Spears and Cooley and Benefield all stayed healthy and that was your starting secondary all year. But the odds of everybody staying healthy all year, or nobody getting a targeting foul, or everybody just staying, you're not needing to tap into your depth, they're pretty slim. And I think that they think Haven Finney's got a chance to be really good. And DJ Pickett talked about Finney today and suggested he was really doing some things that were really good. We just don't get to watch it. So I say all that to be like, I know that this does happen. We're just not there to see it. So that was something I paid a little bit of attention to as well. And then I watched the backup quarterbacks a little bit today in abbreviated time. Houston Longstreet, to me, looks better than Landon Clark. He threw a couple of really nice balls on Tuesday and then had a couple of really good throws to the tight ends today as well. I'm not going to harp on that because they're not even playing a defense. It's not even one-on-ones. It's just literally throwing on air. But the ball comes out a little more zip, and he was just on target. Really the only thing you can glean from these throws are, is the throw on target and does the receiver catch it? And I thought that Longstream looked good. The last piece of subjective data from today was my opinion on Sam Leavitt's mobility. Now, trust me, I'm really not overreacting to this. I'm just providing a little bit of information that you otherwise don't have because you're not at practice. Every drill that we've seen Sam Leavitt do for the first 2 weeks has been stationary, take the snap, one-step drop, throw. Everything. So stationary, on platform, throw it. No rollouts, no read option keepers, no evading pressure, no 7-on-7, nothing. It's been stationary, get it down the field. Okay. Today, we saw half boots. Half boots. I'm talking 3 or 4 steps, dump it off in the flat. Not a big deal. Not trying to make it a big deal, but it's all I saw. And what we saw was that Sam Leavitt looks fine doing it. Moving out to his right, throwing on the run, not favoring a foot, no issues. And look, I have no reason whatsoever to believe that Sam Leavitt is compromised in any way with that foot. Nothing we heard in the summer suggests that. Nothing we've seen in the fall suggests that. Nothing. But any data point about him is important because this guy is the most important piece to this team. Without him, you are significantly worse. You can deal with a loss of your right guard. You'll be okay if you lose a safety. You'll be okay if one of the running backs tweaks an ankle. You've got some guys to fill in. I don't want you to lose your starting quarterback. We saw last year what that can do this era, and there just aren't a lot of teams that are equipped and ready to go with a backup quarterback. Now, you might look at me and go, hey, what about Ole Miss last year? And I don't have a comeback to that other than that I don't think that's the rule. I think that's generally the exception in the portal era. There was an era where you could develop 3 quarterbacks at a time, and they'd all sit on the bench, and they'd all stay, and they'd wait their turn. That time is gone, and you've got 3 new guys. So Leavitt is the most important thing. So when I see something new from Leavitt, I feel it is my obligation to pass it along to you. So saw some half boots, no ill effects whatsoever, and then we got on out of practice. And I came up here and wrote a practice report, which you can read for free on LouisianaSports.net, and came here to do a show. By the way, if you're looking for our practice content from an audio perspective or from a video perspective, wherever you find your podcasts or on YouTube, just check us out at Hunt on LSU. That's Hunt on LSU. And, of course, on LouisianaSports.net. All that, all the podcasts, all the YouTube videos, all the LouisianaSports.net content is free. We love to bring it to you that way. So if you're starving for football content, we have certainly got you here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and LouisianaSports.net. All right, we'll step aside. We're 30 minutes in. We'll talk about LSU basketball commitment moving forward. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Back to school. It's carpool time. You got to have room for the kiddos. If you need a new SUV, Fabry Chevrolet GMC has got them. They got Chevy Suburbans, Chevy Tahoes, GMC Yukons, Denali's. Thinking about that SUV, go to Fabry Chevrolet GMC. And they want to remind you, they've got pre-owned vehicles to fit every budget. So if you need an SUV but you're preferring a pre-owned, you can search by mileage on their website. You can search by price on their website. It's all there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. Go by and see them. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Amazing customer service. The Fabry family's been at this for 35 years in Baton Rouge. So make that short drive to St. Francisville on Highway 61 or check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Always happy to remind you about First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com. That's First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. Been at this 116 years. There is nowhere else to go if you need a commercial loan or a personal loan in Southeast Louisiana, because you want that community feel. You want to know the decision that's being made on your commercial or personal loan is being made locally. If you need to talk to your bank, you don't want to call somebody in San Francisco. You don't want to call somebody in Manhattan. You want to call somebody in Southeast Louisiana. When you walk into your bank, you want to see somebody that you see at church. You want to see somebody that you see with your kids out on the soccer field. That's what you get at First American Bank and Trust. They're local. That does not mean they're small. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So no matter where you are in our part of the world, there's a First American Bank and Trust branch nearest you. So you can check them out online at FABT.com, but I highly suggest you just stop in. Make First American Bank and Trust your banking choice. That's First American Bank and Trust. All right, Matthew Paris is going to be with us in an hour. He was at the Saints and Jaguars joint practice today, and he'll fill us in on what he saw with his own two eyes. I am relegated to this chair, and so I will just read the Twitter musings from folks and draw my own conclusions. The first headlining story from today is absolutely positively Jordan Tyson leaving practice. Unfortunately, when your first-round pick, who has an injury history with his hamstring, leaves practice because of his hamstring, that's not good. Now, the inclination that Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football has from his sourcing inside the team is that they do not believe this is significant. But on the flip side, anything that happens to his hamstring is significant. It would be insignificant if he dislocated a finger, okay? You let it heal. It's something that's gone and you're good in 3 weeks. It's significant when a guy that has had 2 different hamstring injuries in the last 12 months has a hamstring injury. And this is coming from somebody who said, I'm willing to take the injury risk when they drafted him. And full well understanding what you're getting into. Again, this is not right now a 6, 8, 10-week thing. It's a guy that felt something and sat out the rest of practice, and we'll see when he can come back. There's no reporting on that to this point. But it is the headlining story. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, understanding it's paramount, but we're going to move beyond it. It sounds like the Saints offense had a great day. And that is such a refreshing thing to hear, because we talked to Sharif Ishak on Tuesdays. We talked to Luke Johnson on Thursdays, or in this case, Wednesdays. We've talked to Sean Fazan. We've talked to Kat Terrell. Ross Jackson has come on the show. And ultimately, the defense is winning most of the days at Saints camp. And what we know is you don't want one side of the ball to just dominate, because oftentimes that suggests the other side of the ball is weak. I didn't say every time, but oftentimes it suggests the other side is weak. And the Saints have a retooled wide receiver position, a retooled offensive line to some extent, a quarterback that we believe in but aren't 100% certain is a high-level NFL quarterback. And you want them to get going. And if you have one bad day, no big deal. You have a couple bad days in a week, no big deal. But when most of the days are clunky, disjointed, and being controlled by the defense, that's not a good feeling inching toward the season. So now that you don't have guys that you practice against every single day, you don't have a script where the coaches kind of know what's going on, you don't have the familiarity that you do every single day of the one-on-ones and the 11-on-11s, you're able to do some different things, and it's a different feeling. And Nick Underhill tweeted out that Tyler Shuck was 7 of 8 to start, said he was getting the ball down the field, said that big day for Chris Olave, made a one-handed catch that would have been a touchdown. He said the first-team offense is blazing and Shuck is cooking. That is great news to hear from this, because that's a good Jacksonville defense at a lot of spots. Was told that on Twitter that they beat Travis Hunter for a big gain, that Shuck had time to work and was getting the ball out into space. And that's really, really encouraging, because you're not going to get any significant starter reps when you're out there in the preseason, because Kellen Moore's not going to play those guys. You can also look at the Saints defense. Chase Young had 2 early sacks. One was assisted by Nathan Shepard. Vernon Broughton got back there and flushed Trevor Lawrence out of the pocket. Blackman had an interception, 2 pass breakups. Chris Olave made a huge play on Travis Hunter, leapt over the top of him and stretched it down the field. Charlie Smith made a 51-yard field goal, which was great to see. Bryce Lance had a big-time play. So it was really, really, really encouraging based on what we saw from Twitter. I'll get more from Matthew Paris. He saw it with his own 2 eyes, but based on what we saw from Twitter. Now, with that all said, because it is optimism season, and it seems like there were a lot of really good things going on. We saw one tweet that said Saints reporters are suggesting the Saints are having a day, which I just told you. Shuck, 7 of 8. Big plays from Blackman. Olave, Mawson, Travis Hunter. Big gainer from Travis Etienne. Had a big hole on one play. Charlie Smith, 51-yarder. Chase Young getting sacks. Like, listen to all this great stuff. So, yeah, the Saints are having a day. But also the Jags reporters are reporting that the Jags are having a big day too. There's some controversy whether or not there might have been some sacks that weren't whistled down before the plays got off. Again, I don't know. It wasn't there. I'm just reading Twitter. But it is optimism season, and I'll tell you this. I appreciate the Saints Twitter team, the Saints media, highlighting the Saints, and the Jags media team, and the Jags media highlighting the Jags. That's what your base wants to hear. But I choose to hear that the Saints really got things going today offensively, to an extent that they have not previously. They'll get another chance in some joint practices next week, but the preseason is unlikely to give us much other than Spencer Rattler chucking it around to some guys that are really struggling to make the team. But ultimately, it seemed like it was a pretty good day. I do buy that the offense, when they see the same defense every single day, the defense when they see the same offense every day, it can get a little stale and space can be hard to come by. But you get a little shot of life when the other team is across the football from you. They're not sure what to expect. You're on the attack. And it seemed like the Saints offense found its way. And let's be honest. we think Chris Olave can really play. We think Jordan Tyson's got a chance to be a really good player. We know Juwan Johnson's productive. Travis Etienne, really explosive player that's produced a lot. We know that the Saints have a really good center and a quarterback that's got some ability. And if he's completing passes, which by all accounts he was, you've got a lot of really good pass catchers out there that can make plays. So I can't give you a definitive answer as to how today went for the Saints, other than to say it looked pretty good based on the Twitter reaction. Let's see what Matthew Paris gives us in 50 minutes, because that's what I'm most intrigued to hear. But I'm hopeful that it was a confidence-inspiring day for the Saints offense, because they've got some pieces. They've got a bright coach who's won a lot of games and produced a lot of points. And maybe, just maybe, the Saints defense is just really good. And they're doing the old cliche, iron sharpens iron. And that Saints offense is coming along, even though it's tough on them with that defense. And now they got a look at somebody else, and they really lit them up. So let's hope that's the case. We'll talk to Matthew Paris about it coming up at 2:30 today. We still got plenty to do over the course of the next hour and 20 minutes or so. LSU basketball got a commitment. We will talk about that coming up in hour number 2. That's really good news, because I was complaining about it almost daily. We got our Meet the Freshman campaign that's coming up at 2 o'clock. Richard Anderson and Ryan Moret will be our features today. So that's all of hour number 2. To end hour number 1, we got some news from LSU baseball yesterday, and I'll kind of go into what that means for LSU baseball briefly, and then we'll switch back to football. So come back and close out the hour. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
It's back to school time. The folks at Auction are well aware of that, and they're trying to help you out as you send the kids back into school and back into extracurriculars. Sports can help reduce stress, build confidence, improve social skills, and it's a great way for kids to stay active and engaged throughout the school year. Many Auction Health Centers offer primary care and pediatric services in one location. So if you're looking for an easier way to get families to coordinate care for everybody in the household, check out our friends over at Auctioner. They got same-day appointment availability at many of the locations, and they can help families address unexpected health concerns quickly as children return to school and to activities, including some athletics. If you need extended hours after school, weekend appointments, you never know when those injuries are going to happen, well, you can go to www.oxner.org/BR to see where you can get looked at. For tips on helping your family start the school year healthy, safe, and ready to succeed, again, that's oxner.org/BR.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday shows always brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. I'm going to give you Sean Sagrera's number at the end of this read. If you want to do beef a different way, Sean can help you out. It's the only way the Palmers buy beef these days. You know that herd levels are at their lowest since the 60s, which our population's growing a good bit, right? That is a supply and demand issue. Prices go up. You're paying a premium price when you go buy your beef. Your steaks, your ground beef, whatever the case may be, you're paying a premium price for that. Why not get a premium product? That's what you get with Sagrera Farms. It's prime every time. Sean has mastered this craft. It's a 3-year journey for every cow. It starts with the genetic mating, raised on grass, finished on grain, dry aged 45 days, and it is a prime product every single time. The standard for prime on the IMF scale is 8 to 9. He's got cows on the farm right now in Ethel that are 12, 14, 16, 18. They've been ultrasounded by vets. It creates the most tender, flavorful, well-marbled beef you've had. It's top 1% in the country. If you want a half a cow, want a quarter of a cow, want a whole cow, split it between 4 families if you want. Don't have the freezer space? Sean can help you out with that. Give him a call, 225-719-1723. Again, that's 225-719-1723. Call Sean, say, hey, I heard about it on Hunt's show. I'd like to talk to you about some beef. You go up to the farm, he gets you taken care of. It is A+. The next time you put fillets, strips, ribeyes on the grill, the next time you make burgers or flank steak, Sagrera Farms, premium Angus beef. They bring you our Thursday shows each and every week. All right, some news from LSU baseball yesterday, kind of. Luke Tucker, who was a signee in this class, announced via his Instagram that he's headed to McLennan Junior College in Waco, Texas. Tucker is a big left-handed hitting infielder, probably profiles as a third baseman, who's a really nice get for LSU in this class. But there's a crunch on numbers for LSU. And Luke Tucker has decided what's going to be best for him is to remain committed to LSU after he spent the summer here. He was here all summer, went through summer school and was with the guys. He has decided to go to junior college, get a year's worth of at-bats, and then come back. Now, he will remain his draft eligibility by going to JUCO. So he could redo this next year and potentially go into the draft. And he's a fairly draftable prospect. You're talking about a kid that's 6'4", can play third base and really hits with some power. But infield at-bats are going to be tough to come by at LSU next year. Stephen Milam's going to be the shortstop. Cade Curlin is very likely to be the second baseman. Dawson Park had an all-star summer on Cape Cod. He's very likely your third baseman. You do bring back Jack Ruckert. You do bring back John Pearson. It's going to be hard to get on the field on the infield at LSU. And with that in mind, Tucker's going to take this opportunity to continue to develop. And you do if you get more at-bats. It'd be great to come to LSU and practice in the fall against LSU pitchers and maybe dress out for the home games and maybe a road game here or there and get the experience of, all that goes into that as a freshman. But how much was he going to hit? How much defense was he going to play? And how much does that kind of stunt your growth? I think it's an incredibly mature decision by Luke Tucker to say, hey, I understand crowded roster, crowded infield. I'm going to play baseball. I'm going to play. And not only am I going to do that, all the while I'm going to stay committed to LSU. Because how easy would it be to say, I'll go to junior college, I'll find somewhere else to play. But he didn't. He said, no, I want to be a Tiger. I'll be back. And that's what he said on his Instagram post. Said, I remain committed to LSU. I plan to play a year at McLennan and then come back. And that's a really cool thing that Luke Tucker is going to do. So it's a bit of a detour for him, but this is the nature of the beast in collegiate athletics. You got to go get guys. And sometimes you don't know what the circumstances of your roster are going to be. When Jay Johnson goes and gets his transfer portal class, he doesn't know what the draft is going to do. So you go get all these guys from the portal and bring them in, and then the draft comes, and you have no idea how many of these talented signees you're going to get. So you're playing a delicate balancing game. And candidly, like, I know it's not the nicest thing to say, but you'd rather be over the roster limit and have to tap somebody on the shoulder than be under the roster limit and go, well, I'm wasting 3 spots on this bench. And Jay Johnson's just not going to do that. He's going to be prepared. So guess what? When Logan Schmidt makes that 11th hour decision to come to LSU, you got to start talking. And Luke Tucker is receptive to it. And I've been so impressed with his social media presence over the course of the last couple of weeks. And best of luck to him this year at McLennan. Hope he plays a ton of third base, a little first base, maybe some second, hits for some pop, sees a lot of 88, 90 mile an hour fastballs, and then comes back to LSU next year during the summer and try to win a spot. Because guess what? Guess what? Dawson Park, not going to be here next year. Stephen Milam, not going to be here next year. Cade Curlin, not going to be here next year. So you're looking at second base, shortstop, and third base. There's playing time. Playing time is wide open. So, yeah, you're going to have to compete. There were 2 other really good infielders in this class. Jack Ruckert is still in this program, so is John Pearson. And they'll go back in the transfer portal next June and see what they can do to add depth and talent. And the best player will play. But you can't just kind of think you know what's going to happen in the MLB draft and then we'll figure it out. No, you gotta plan early. And sometimes things work out a little better than you thought. And I think in Jay Johnson's case this time, things worked out a little bit better than he thought with the MLB draft. And so you got to move forward with your roster. So LSU will start fall practice coming up here at the beginning of October. They'll play Troy in Tiger Stadium. They will not play Troy in Tiger Stadium. That's incorrect. They will play Troy inside Alex Box Stadium in the fall. They will play Southeastern Louisiana in Tiger Stadium during the fall. And they'll also make their annual trip over to Biloxi to play Samford during the bye week. That'll be a Saturday and Sunday. So it should be a big fall for LSU. Very cool schedule they've put together. Really talented roster they've assembled. And Luke Tucker, who's a big talent, will have a chance to go hit and play defense elsewhere and then hopefully come right on back to LSU. Keep in mind, this is not unprecedented. Tanner Reeves was committed to LSU, decided to stay another year at Blinn Junior College there in Texas, and then came to LSU. So I realized that, Tanner Reeves was never a superstar player at LSU, but this is not unprecedented for a player that is still very much committed to a school to spend some extra time at junior college to keep playing. And that's what Luke Tucker has elected to do. So good for him, and I think good for LSU baseball. So that's it for hour number 1 here of our Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. I opened the show today talking about this ridiculous number gate. It's just beyond my comprehension that people can act like this on both sides. That Jayden Daniels is writing legal documents to LSU and then suggesting LSU should send his Heisman Trophy back to go be displayed at his high school instead of his college. That's just beyond my comprehension. I feel like it would be great and reasonable if DJ Pickett didn't demand that he get the number, which he got in his contract and negotiated with LSU. But how important is that? Where is it in the hierarchy of development and team success and building friendship bonds and school, heaven forbid, and the whole thing. To prioritize the number over that is mind-blowing to me. Now, with Brian Kelly, I understand that he felt like he had to do what he had to do to get the kid on campus, and you do it. And then you got Lane Kiffin, who was dropped right in between a rock and a hard place here in Baton Rouge. I did not have a comment on it today, but I gave my full 12-minute dissertation on that at the top of the show. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Also talked about LSU's practice today, another 12 minutes. We got to observe things. I liked what I saw from Whitweek and the defensive ends, and saw a little bit more from Sam Levitt than we have previously in terms of mobility. I gave my thoughts on it. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Also, we talked about what we read about the Saints, but I have good news for you. You don't have to pin all your Saints information on what I read on Twitter. We're going to have Matthew Paris come on in 35 minutes, and he'll tell you what he saw with his own two eyes down there at Saints camp. Also got other things to get to in hour number 2. We'll start things with our Meet the Freshman series, and guess what? After 2 days and really 2 weeks of me going, I don't know, LSU got a hoops commitment. And I'm going to break it down. We'll pause for SportsCenter. You can hear the national headlines there. Invite you to come back with us for hour number 2 of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Vaughn and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If there is a crack in your closet, not your closet, fix that too. If there's a crack in your bathtub or your shower, don't just let it sit there. David has seen this way too many times. If there's a crack in your bathtub or your shower, likely water is seeping through there. And then where's it going? Well, it's got to go somewhere. Into your walls. If it's on the second floor, into that first floor ceiling, into the ceiling where you are, into the floors where you are. And that can get really, really, really bad and really expensive. So just because it's a small crack, take it seriously. Contact David Vaughn on One Bath and Closets. Don't let a small crack turn into mold. Don't let a small crack turn into rotting. Don't let a small crack turn into a big job. Contact David Vaughn at One Bath and Closets. You can find him online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Ever wonder why?
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. First overall pick in the NFL draft, Raiders quarterback Fernando Mendoza set to get plenty of reps in tonight's preseason opener. He's practiced mostly with the second team this summer, but could get some snaps with a few members of the first team offensive line. Two things to keep an eye on when it comes to Mendoza tonight, says ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Ease for Fernando Mendoza. Ease getting in and out of the huddle, something that he did not do in college. Ease at the line of scrimmage, handling all the formations, the shifts, the motions that Clint Kubiak is going to put him under. The next step would be for me, if it doesn't go great, there's a lack of comfort in it. How does he handle that? What's his poise like?
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes will not start Saturday as he continues to make his way back from knee surgery. Bills QB Josh Allen will play Saturday versus Carolina in the first game played at the team's new stadium. Panthers running back Chuba Hubbard week to week with a hamstring strain. Army rewarded football coach Jeff Monken for the program's consistent success during his tenure with a new 5-year contract.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, Baker and the Bucks couldn't agree on a new deal. I'll tell you if any bad blood will carry into the regular season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio, this is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Matthew Paris talking Saints-Jags joint practice in 30 minutes. LSU Hoops gets a commitment. We'll do it 15 minutes from now. Jayden Daniels has issued a statement on social media, so I will read that to you. I don't really have a lot of comment on it because there's not a lot of to the statement. I gave plenty of comments at the top of the show. But Jayden's statement on Instagram says, and I quote, "I have been locked in on training camp, and that's been my number one focus. I have a lot of gratitude for my time at LSU, and I'm proud of what my teammates and I accomplished there. Obviously, there are issues to be worked out between my team and LSU, and my hope is that it will get done privately. My sole personal focus is on Commanders football. I realize the business of football is unique, and I trust this can all be resolved." Yeah, I would suggest just focus on Commanders football and let DJ Pickett wear number 5, and then we'll move on after this, and you can get your number retired. Nobody will ever wear it again. That's what I would suggest. But again, I'm not nearly emotional enough about the attachment of this number to multiple players throughout LSU's football program. So do with it what you will, but there's been a lot of goodwill done away, and there are some people that are not going to forgive Jayden Daniels. I think that's equally as ridiculous to suggest, well, I hate this guy, I'm not going to say his name, and Joe Burrow would never do this. Jayden Daniels was a super awesome player at LSU. I loved watching him play. I'll welcome him back to Baton Rouge. I'll welcome him back to LSU. This is a foolish way to handle this situation, in my estimation, but I'm not going to let it cloud my judgment of how awesome it was to watch Jayden Daniels play at LSU, and I do ultimately believe that Jayden Daniels will come back to Baton Rouge. He will get his number 5 retired. It will go up on the south end zone. He will have his night, and everyone should applaud that. But there are people who very much enjoy to get a grudge, hold a grudge, and keep it forever. And I'm not willing to do that with guys that play for my team, and I'm certainly not going to do it with Jayden Daniels. Doesn't make me right, doesn't make you right or wrong. That's just the way I feel about it. So if there's Jayden Daniels' comment on the matter, I don't really need to go too much further into that. I do invite you to read Matt's piece on LouisianaSports.net, where he spoke with members of all three parties involved here to kind of put some context behind it, and you can check that out for free on the homepage at LouisianaSports.net. All right, we're going to do this at 2 o'clock for the next foreseeable future here for the next couple of weeks. Let's meet the freshmen.
Meet the freshmen. Freshmen, meet the freshmen. They're the newest Tigers on the team.
Yesterday, we started this series with Deuce Geralds and Corey Barber. We'll go back to the interior defensive line today and start with Big Richard Anderson. Edna Carr High School in New Orleans, 6'3", 340 pounds. This is a guy who had a phenomenal high school career at Edna Carr, was the Class 5A Outstanding Defensive Player as well as First Team All-State in 2025. As a senior, keep in mind at 340-plus pounds, 53 tackles, 10 sacks, 22 quarterback hurries, recorded a couple of fumbles. Edna Carr's record in his final 28 games at Carr, 28-0. Pretty good for Big Richard Anderson. You look at his recruiting profile, and this is one of the best players in the nation. The Rivals Industry Composite has him as the number 33 player in the country, number 2 defensive tackle, number 2 player in the state of Louisiana, a 5-star prospect by Rivals. They rate them as the number 18 player in the country. 24/7 had him as the number 8 player in the nation, a top 10 player and a 5-star recruit. So this was a must-get for LSU inside the state, as that cliche goes. And LSU did lock him up and reel him in. He was committed early to LSU, met with Lane Kiffin in the hours after Lane Kiffin got down to Baton Rouge, and ultimately decided he would stick with his commitments. He enrolled early, and as we told you, on the second day of camp, he was working alongside Deuce Geralds at the starting defensive tackle spot. It's a pursuit drill. It's August 5th, so I'm not going to read too much into it, but I will say that we talked to Braylon Moore, the media did, last week, and he said that Richard Anderson is a powerful dude. And he is. When you go out to watch LSU practice, I should probably say more correctly, when I go watch LSU practice, he is noticeable how big he is. I mean, there are some big dudes out there. Don McKinley's a big dude. Stephylan Green's a big dude. Malik Blockton's a big dude. Sean Washington, big dude. Richard Anderson's the biggest dude. He's the biggest dude out there. He's got oak trees for legs. He is strong as an ox. And he moves pretty well. There's a reason he was a top 10 player in the nation, according to 24/7. Now, this is always a position that takes some seasoning, because when you are 6'3", call it, and 340 pounds in high school, and that center who's taken psychology class at Nicholls State this year and is not playing down a football the rest of his life, is there trying to block you, you can just knock his ass out of the way and go get the quarterback. Like that, it's a different sport for these guys who are destined for the NFL as opposed to the guys who don't even play it down in college football. So you don't have to have immaculate technique at that level to dominate. And he did dominate. But he's got to have great technique at this level, because now 19-year-old Richard Anderson is going to have to deal with 23-year-old guards and centers who also weigh 320 pounds and can hold their own. So I'm very, very optimistic about Richard Anderson's time in Baton Rouge. I think he could be a star. I'm also leery of the amount of true freshman reps that you're getting on the defensive front this early in camp. So I'm really pumped about Richard Anderson. It's not a Richard Anderson thing. It's an upperclassman thing that gives me a little bit of pause. But this was a great job by Lane Kiffin and his crew to keep Richard Anderson in the boat and on this team, because he really, really, really looks the part. We'll look to the second freshman on this list today, and it is Ryan Moret. Ryan Moret hails from South Florida. He is a Miami native, went to Southridge High School. He is a former Ole Miss commitment. He came over with Lane Kiffin, having never seen LSU. Never saw it. Just trusted Lane Kiffin. He's got good size, 6'4", 300 pounds, but he profiles as a center. This is not a tackle for sure, and probably not a guard. He is a center. And if Braylon Moore were to go out, I think William Satterwhite would be next up, but Ryan Moret is challenging for that spot early on. Here's something I absolutely love about Ryan Moret. Love. As a junior in Florida High School Athletic Association 3A wrestling in the 285-pound division, he was perfect. He was undefeated in high school wrestling as a junior. That shows me a guy who has dealt with a lot of guys his strength before and has won based on leverage and technique. Now, it's wrestling, not football, and not every wrestler can come over and play football, but there are some good innate skills in Ryan Moret that will allow him to be a really good college player. Now, he is a low-profile recruit. This is not a high-profile recruit. Rivals had him as a 3-star. ESPN has him a 3-star. 24/7 had a 3-star. He is the number 57 interior lineman by Rivals, 44 by 24/7. ESPN liked him more at number 10, but he was not a top 140 player by any of those recruiting outlets. But Lane Kiffin trusts his evaluation, and he trusts what he saw in Ryan Moret. So this is not a guy who's going to have an impact this year. There are 2 guys in front of him at the center position, and you hope that Braylon Moore stays healthy and plays the entire year right there. But I think that this is potentially a diamond in the rough for LSU. I like his size. I like his background. I like his attitude. He sat right in the studio and talked to Matt Moscona during spring football after he came. He believes in what Lane Kiffin does. He believes in himself. He's a year away. He needs to get in the weight room and continue to work. But a lot of accounts suggest that he's had a really nice spring and into early camp, and that's a really good thing. That's a guy that you would hope can challenge for a spot next year, and you hope doesn't have to do much in the way of starting and playing this year. But I love the wrestling record. I think it's awesome. And we'll see when he becomes a key piece to what LSU is doing. So 4 freshmen down: Zeus Geralds, Corey Barber, Rich Anderson, and Ryan Moret down. We'll continue to knock out 2 every single day as we move forward with LSU in fall camp. Our Meet the Freshman series has been doing it since we started this show up, which was like right about 5 years ago. So we'll continue this show rolling. Today, LSU got a basketball commitment. You might not know much about him. I learned a lot about him last night and into this morning. I'll tell you what I learned when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. That's SwingEasyGCBR.com. Looking to squeeze some golf into your weekend plans. It's almost here, but you don't have a tee time. Well, make it Swing Easy Golf Club. You might say, well, I don't have 4.5, 5 hours on Saturday morning. I got somewhere to be. Well, you don't need 4.5 or 5 hours at Swing Easy. You can play 18 holes in an hour. You can easily do that. You can play Pebble Beach in an hour by yourself, or you can go on a Friday night. Have some drinks. They got them right there for you. Seltzers, beers, wine right there. Bring some friends, crank some tunes, and hit some golf shots. Endless mulligans, endless fun. It's all right there at Swing Easy Golf Club on Segan at Perkins. They're online at SwingEasyGCBR.com. Memberships are available, whether it's a personal membership or a commercial resident membership. You can get one of those as well, corporate membership. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, online at SwingEasyGCBR.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Raising Cane's, Texas.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Marucci is such a cool story here in Baton Rouge. I tell you that every day, but it's really true. I mean, you got 2 former big leaguers, their trainer, and they hop in the backyard shed and start making a bat. And then you fast forward 20 years, and they got the official bat of Major League Baseball. Not Louisville, Kentucky, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's really cool, and you can learn that story if you go take a tour. You can see how they scaled things up from the backyard shed to where they are now. You can see where they make 1,200 bats every single day and ship them to the best players in the world. You can see where they're carved down, stained, and shipped off. It's such a cool facility and a gym here in Baton Rouge. And if you're not into history, you just want to hit, well, you can do that too. The Hitter's House is right there. Grab some lumber, take some swings. You can become a member at the Hitter's House, 24/7 access to their batting cages for that youth baseball player, youth softball player under your roof. A membership to the Hitter's House may be the ticket. Maybe you just want to take a tour. You can do that too. It's Marucci, online at MarucciSports.com. All right. I've been complaining. I've been asking. I've been whining. Where are the players for LSU basketball? Where are the players? How do you have a roster page on LouisianaSports.net with 4 guys on it in the middle of August? I've never seen this. I'm uncomfortable with this. I told y'all. I had a conversation a month ago, and the source inside the program said, look, these 5th years are going to get eligible. We've got a lot of them. We're going to get a lot of them. We'll be ready by the time school starts. And I heard it, and I told you that, but it's just, I didn't understand why the information is not coming out. Louisville's getting commitments. Kentucky's getting commitments. Gonzaga's getting commitments. Everybody's getting commitments. LSU's got none. And I'm sitting here telling you that LSU's got this mountain of cash because Jan Madar's not coming and they're going to miss out on some of these European guys. And so you got roster spots, you got cash, they got all these guys in the portal. Go get somebody. And finally, they got somebody. Pending a waiver, of course, but we all believe that these waivers are going to be approved. Yesterday, it was reported by Joe Tipton that Sky Clark, former UCLA guard, would play his 5th and final collegiate season at LSU should he be granted a waiver. He's played the last 2 years at UCLA. The year before that, in 2023, 2024, he was at Louisville, and the year before that, he was at Illinois. So Illinois, Louisville, and UCLA, not exactly 3 slouches when it comes to the hardwood. This is a guy who's played high-level basketball at 3 different places. And so he comes over. He's a 6'3", kind of combo guard, I would suggest. He, over the last 2 years, has started 57 games for UCLA, but he started 28 games for Louisville back in 2023, 2024. In all, between Illinois, Louisville, and UCLA, he started 97 college games. In his career, he's a 10.5 point scorer, and then last year he averaged 2 assists a game for UCLA. But the stat that jumps off the page with Clark is not the experience, which is great. is not the 11.5 PPGs that he averaged last year at UCLA, which is strong, or the 2 assists, which was good. It's the shooting. Last year at UCLA, not in a small number of attempts, this guy shot 124 threes. He was putting up threes. He shot 43% from deep. 43% over 124 shots. That is knocking him down. In the year before that at UCLA, he shot 121 threes, a lot of threes. He made 40%. So over the course of 2 years at UCLA, shooting 145 three-pointers, which is a lot of numbers, but 145 threes is a big sample size. This is not 4 for 10. It's 245 threes. He's shooting 41%. That is ripping the net. He's a good free throw shooter, 82% last year. He dishes out assists. He had 91 assists at UCLA 2 years ago and 87 the year before that. This is a guy who can run the point. He can facilitate. He's not an elite athlete. He's more of a bigger frame. He's a good athlete. But when you're 6'3", and you shoot it like that, and you play for UCLA and you play for Louisville, you would imagine that the NBA comes calling, and they haven't. He's a fifth-year player. And that's because he's not an NBA athlete. But he's got good court awareness, good vision. He handles the ball a lot, does a good job of distributing, rolled up some assists, and absolutely can knock the ball down from deep. I don't know if Divine Ogachukwu is going to be a great shooter for LSU. He did a pretty good job of shooting it at Michigan State, was a bad shooter at Miami. I don't think Austin Nunez is a great shooter who's going to play some guard for LSU. Mo Diabate is going to be on the wing for you. He doesn't shoot it great. You need some shooting. We'll see if Marcio Santos is here. He's got to get eligible. He's a good shooter, but we'll see if he gets into school. I don't know if you're going to get Michael Ruzick in here, who's a skilled scoring player, but you need shooting. And Abdi Bashir can absolutely shoot from the wing. You brought him in from Kansas State at 6'7", but this is your ball-handling shooter who can create his own shot, who can space the floor, who can get in the paint, and he can make some things happen. Now, this is only a 5-person roster right now. So suggesting exactly where he fits in is a fool's errand because I don't know who else is on the team. But I do know that this is a veteran player from a power league who shoots the lights out not 1 year, but 3 years of really good shooting, has been a double-digit scorer for the last, let me make sure I'm right there, double-digit scorer for the last 2 of the last 3 years, once at Louisville, once at UCLA, and can really rip the nets. And I like that a ton. I watched his YouTube highlights for about 5 minutes last night and got a pretty good sense of what his strengths are. You certainly don't see weaknesses on a highlight tape. I don't know how good a defender he is. I know that he's not going to be any sort of shutdown defender on the wing, but I think he can hold his own. This is an offensive help and one that brings you veteran experience, NCAA tournament experience, Big Ten experience, ACC experience, and a lot of it with a good shot. So this eased my nerves a little bit, okay? I wasn't at a 10 because when I talked to that source inside the program, I was at like a 2. Okay, they know what they're doing, great. And then it mounted a little bit, and I was up to like a 4 or 5. And then those fifth years got the injunction that said they're going to be able to play. That dropped me down to a 2, and I thought it would just be a flood. Kind of based on the conversation I had, I was like, okay, everybody's going to be coming in. They'll get 6 guys in the next 3 weeks. Well, it's been a week and a half, and I got 1 guy, and I didn't have any yesterday. We crept up to a 6 yesterday. I'm back to a 3. Again, based on some things that I've heard, there are some of these European guys that we heard about back in the spring are not going to be on the team for one reason or another. Could be eligibility, could be lack of interest once they arrive, like could be a number of things. There are going to be some things that shake themselves out where not all those guys, I'm not saying none of them will be here, but they aren't all going to be here. So you're going to have to fill this with some fifth years. And there are really good fifth years out there. And I think Sky Clark is a really good fifth year and a good fit for what LSU needs at this point. But they got to keep it going. And I am concerned, yes, about gelling this thing together by November. these are old players that should be able to figure things out relatively quickly, but you're talking about getting into conditioning. You're talking about playing together and understanding an offense and installing a system and communication on defense and things that do take a little bit of time. And LSU's just not going to have that because I don't know how long Clark has been here or if he's gotten to Baton Rouge yet. But assuming he's eligible, which I feel pretty good about suggesting he will be eligible, I like his skill set. I like his game. I like guys that can shoot. Shooters space the floor. Floor space creates attacking lanes. Attacking lanes create fouls and opportunities at the rim. Fouls and opportunities at the rim create points. And so it starts with space on the floor for me, and this is a guy that can do it. So good get from LSU, from UCLA. I did check the UCLA beat writer that tweeted it out, and I was looking for the comments, which you hear. You know I do. I see what the reaction is from folks when players leave or when coaches leave. I understand sour grapes play a role, but in this case, there are a lot of pro Sky Clark comments about the type of player that he is and how they wished he would have come back to UCLA. I take that as a guy who played pretty damn well over in Westwood. So we'll take him in Baton Rouge. Sky Clark, the 5th member of LSU's basketball team for 2026-2027. Every time something new breaks, we'll tell you about it. And I'm going to write a portal profile on him coming up tomorrow for LouisianaSports.net. Chugging along here on a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, working towards the weekend, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We will step aside. Matthew Paris covers the New Orleans Saints for The Advocate and NOLA.com. The Saints were on the practice field with the Jaguars. Twitter made it sound like things went really well today, aside from the Jordan Tyson injury. We'll ask him what he saw with the Jordan Tyson injury, and then we'll talk about what else he saw on the field today. Come back with us, The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Awesome deals on trucks all month long in August. You got time to get by, but make it happen over the course of the next couple of weeks because 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s have 0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payments for 90 days. That's now until August 31st, as I mentioned. But GMC Sierras, right there with them, 2.9% APR financing, 72 months. That's 5 years plus an additional $1,500 in allowance on those Sierras. So if you want a Silverado, you want a Sierra, August is the month to get up Highway 61 to Fabry Chevrolet GMC and test drive one today. The Fabry family has been at this for 35 years. Amazing customer service, wonderful buying experience every single time. That's how they've done this for 35 years. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
When it comes to You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef brings you our Thursday shows every single week. We talk black and gold generally with Luke Johnson on Thursdays. Luke out of pocket today, so his colleague good enough to step in and join us. Matthew Parrish covers the black and gold for NOLA.com, and the Advocate was out there at Saints-Jags joint practice today and joined us on the Jim's Farms hotline. Matthew, we appreciate the time. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. What's the headline today? The improved effort, and I'm reading all this off Twitter, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the improved effort of the offense or the Jordan Tyson quote-unquote injury that forced him out of the end of practice?
I would still say the offense. Now, fair warning, I was watching the defense while Luke Johnson, my colleague, watched the offense. So I did not see the offense throughout practice, but big picture-wise, it was still important for the Saints to show up. They had been very inconsistent throughout camp. They needed kind of a statement day, and from everything, relayed to me and hearing from Luke, they seem to accomplish that against Jacksonville today.
Can you paint this picture for those of us who have never been out to a joint practice? What's the intensity level? What are the regulations put in place? Like big picture stuff before we get into the details of the day. What does that look like year in, year out when these two teams get together?
Yeah, it's pretty organized. I mean, it definitely is intense. There is a lot of work. Like the reason why coaches have preferred not to play their starters in the preseason and save it for the joint practices is, one, because the environment is a little bit more controlled, but two, you can really get a lot of work in. I didn't count how many total plays the first team defense was out there for, but it was, maybe 8 series, maybe more than that. Like they did, red zone work, 2-minute drills, length of the field, down and distance sort of stuff. And, there's just a lot of ways you can get after it. And I think both teams accomplished that today.
You watched the defense today. Would you suggest throughout camp the defense has been very impressive, Saints on Saints leading up to today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has looked very much like the top 10 unit that they rounded into last year. In some aspects, it has been even better with, Cooley McKinstry's growth, Chase Young's looking like an actual true star as a pass rusher. There had been a lot to like, and I think that really kind of carried over to today's practice. They started off really strong, shut down Trevor Lawrence. Then Lawrence really speeded up. He really diced them into red zone. That was kind of the one down area for New Orleans. But, they rebounded pretty strong. They made a kind of a statement in the final 2-minute drill. Chase Young estimated that he had 6 sacks alone. I don't know if it was that many, but it was pretty, based on my own notes, I had at least 3. There were at least 4 plays that were blown dead because of Young. One of them was a run play, but he had a really impressive day, and there was a good showing overall from the defense.
Are they moving Chase Young side to side, or is he planted on the offensive left side?
He was mostly on the left side today. They rotated occasionally. Okay. But yeah, he was dropping back a little too in coverage. They were using him, but they took advantage of his skill set, which was just to get after the quarterback, and he definitely did that today.
You've seen him a couple of years now in training camp, and we've certainly seen him on Sundays. The talent level is obvious. Has he been better in camp this year than in previous years?
He has. I mean, so disclosure, I've covered Chase even getting back to his first year in Washington. I've covered Chase mostly throughout his career. This is the most complete I've ever seen him as a pass rusher. I think even his first season in New Orleans, he talked a lot about kind of realizing what moves to use when, and kind of figuring out that art of, being a pass rusher. The next year, was really kind of his breakout. Obviously he missed the first 5 games with a calf injury, but came back, racked up 10 sacks in 12 games. And this year just seems to be the next step for him. He's very involved vocally. He seems to really have embraced the leadership responsibilities that really in Washington was really only his first season as a rookie. The team kind of turned toward him to be that vocal leader, but then he got hurt and his voice kind of became quieter as the years went along. But what we're seeing now reminds me a lot of Chase Young as a rookie, where he racked up the Rookie Defensive of the Year award. He was a complete difference maker for that defense. I think he's back to being that type of player.
Tell me about the interior of the Saints defensive line. We know that Brian Brzee is out for the year. We know that there's been a Davin Godchaux injury that he's dealt with. Christian Miller's missed some time as well. What was happening on the defensive interior today for New Orleans?
Yeah, that was an area that surprised me because the big question was, all right, with Brzee out, could they generate pressure? And they did. I think Nathan Shepard had several sacks as well. Vernon Broughton was creating pressure. Vernon Broughton has looked very good dating back to, I think it was last week. He just completely pancaked Cesar Ruiz. I had video of it on my Twitter that a lot of fans noted Ruiz's involvement in that play, but he just has been pretty steady for New Orleans, and those two really accounted for a lot of push. Davon Godchaux did not practice. He's their nose tackle. Christian Boyd kind of filled in that absence, which I thought was interesting that they didn't use Christian Miller there, who they drafted in the second round. But, they got a lot of push. Now, the question is, Jacksonville was missing some starters up front. Was it just that, or will they be able to generate it consistently this coming season?
You mentioned the red zone as a spot where Trevor Lawrence had some success today. Were there any more concerning areas for New Orleans defensively that you saw?
Yeah, I would say the red zone was the big one. The other thing that kind of stood out to me was it felt like when Lawrence was really starting to cook and he found success a lot in the middle of the field, it seemed like the closest players nearby were Pete Werner, Caden Ellis. I do wonder how their linebackers are going to hold up in pass coverage. Not to say that those plays were necessarily their fault. They were just the closest defender nearby. So you got to be careful when judging blame on that sort of stuff. But I do wonder if, how a team's going to attack them. Is that an area that they try to take advantage of? It's just something I hadn't really thought of it before today, and it made me just raise my eyebrow a little bit.
Matthew Paris is our guest, covers the Saints for NOLA.com and The Advocate. I've been on the air for an hour and a half, so I'm not sure what's going on after practice, but did you have a chance to speak with Kellen Moore or any of the players after they wrapped up today?
Yeah, I wasn't there for Kellen's availability. I was doing some other something else related for a story I'm working on. But I was there for, several Chris Olave, Travis Achan, Julian Blackman, Tyler Shuck spoke as well. But the players reiterated that, they felt like this was really good work. They were used to seeing, the opposing unit for the first 11 of camp. It really kind of, Tyler Shuck said that he got, there were some, he had trouble putting down breakfast this morning because it kind of felt like a game day situation. And I do think the Saints really approach it as if, they were playing a real game Thursday, that they approached it in a serious manner, which was good to see.
All right, let's talk about the actual preseason game that I know a lot of folks will be watching. We know a lot of the Saints starters will also be watching and not playing, but is there something that you'll be looking for, a position battle, a young player, whatever the case may be, when the Saints and Jags do get things going in the Dome?
Yeah, two things. I think the rookie receivers are the big one. You know, we've seen a lot from Berrien Brown and Bryce Lance in practice. You know, Jordan Tyson was not going to play anyway before today's injury, then now certainly almost not the case there. But I'm interested to see how those two would translate. And then I think the running back rotation is really up for grabs on this team, at least behind Achane and Kamara. You know, that third running back spot, it has on the depth chart that they released the other day, it was Kendre Miller. I was pretty skeptical over that. It really does seem like Audric Estime has kind of moved into the leadership position, or he's the pole position guy for that spot right now. Now, Kendre Miller and Devin Neal have been hurt, so maybe that goes against them. But I do think, Audric Estime got reps with the ones the other day. They are clearly interested in his progress, in the growth that he has showed. I just wonder if it translates to the regular or to the preseason against Jacksonville.
How many do you think they'll carry week 1? 3?
I would lean towards 3. I think they're going to keep 4 tight ends. Moise Monteval has had kind of a nice camp to, I think, make the case for keeping 4. Receivers is a good one too, because after Jalen Polk retired, I thought they were going to keep 6. Does that open up a spot to keep 5? I think I'd still maybe lean towards 6, but the numbers are, I think, pretty in flux right now, and the preseason goes a long way toward shoring that up.
Matthew, we appreciate some time. Enjoy some kind of real football coming up this weekend.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks.
That's Matthew Paris with NOLA.com, and The Advocate was out there at Saints-Jags joint practice. We got a lot of reports on Twitter based on the offense and how good Shuck looked, and hit a couple of big runs with Travis Achane, and Olave made a big play down the sideline over Travis Hunter, and it seems like there were some really good things for the Saints, but Matthew watched the defense, and obviously Chase Young has continued his awesome work, and maybe that's I loved that signing when the Saints made it. I thought you're not in a place where you can win right now, and they weren't 2 years ago when they signed him, but he's young, he's cheap based on his talent level, the number 2 overall pick in the draft, and defensive rookie of the year, and it's pretty low risk. It's a 1-year deal. You cut bait if it's over. And then obviously he liked it here. He played well, and he decided to re-up and extend. And maybe he's a pillar of what you're doing over the next 3 years at that rush in. We've seen guys far, far older than him that have made impact as a pass rusher. Eventually Father Time will come calling, but he's not coming for Chase Young right now. He's in essentially his mid-20s, almost in his late 20s. So that was a great addition. And by every account, everyone we've talked to, Chase Young has been the best player. And I think that is twofold. One, it really helps to have that guy on your team to close football games, to make game-changing plays, strip sacks, third down sacks, first down sacks that stall drives. And also, every single day, you've got Kelvin Banks, a first-round pick who's young, dealing with, I'll be conservative, a top 10 edge rusher in the NFL. That's a great thing to have him dealing with that every single day. And Banks, to his credit, suggested that when he's it's great for me to go against Chase Young. Got a feeling if Banks plays at all on Thursday against a guy that's probably going to get cut by Jacksonville, he's going to go, well, this is awesome. He probably won't play in the game on Saturday, but is it Saturday or Sunday? I don't even know which day it is.
Saturday.
Probably won't play because they're probably not going to play any starters. But if he does and plays some third teamer from Jacksonville that's going to get cut, it ain't going to look like Chase Young. I can promise you that. But neither will that first week of the season. So we'll see. But thanks for Matthew for giving us a little bit of time here. Saints and Jags coming up on Saturday. A little more practice to come tomorrow in a lighter setting. So appreciate Matthew for a little bit of time. We'll come back and close out the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com is that website. It's not just roofing. They also do windows. They also do gutters. They also do siding. So anything on the exterior of your home that you think could use a facelift, Lifetime Roofing is happy to do it. If you get that new roof from the folks at Lifetime Roofing, whether you've got some damage that you need to file a claim on, or if you're looking for a retail roof because you're selling your house and want to make sure that the roof is there so you can get as much as possible for your home, Lifetime Roofing is happy to help you with that. If you need to finance things, they've got 0% for 18 months. If you're looking for a lifetime workmanship warranty, you're not going to find it in most places, but you will find it at Lifetime Roofing. Get that new roof. Get a lifetime workmanship warranty that's backed by Certainteed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building material. It's a Baton Rouge company, knows how to service South Louisiana, can help you all the way over to Houston and anywhere in the state of Louisiana. It's Lifetime Roofing. Find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Appreciate y'all. Very much appreciate y'all making LouisianaSports.net part of your day each and every day. I'm looking at the site right now. There's just a lot going on. Got an injury update on Jordan Tyson from Ross Jackson. Ross wrote up Saints run defense from today against Jacksonville. Matt's got an inside story where he spoke with multiple sources in multiple camps about this Jayden Daniels situation with the Heisman Trophy, being asking for it back and numbers. You can read all that there. I've got my practice report from this morning up there from LSU. You can check that out. Ross Jackson wrote another piece that's about Saints and Jaguars joint practice. I've got a column up about the drama between LSU and Jayden Daniels that was published this morning. So, and we got a piece up there about LSU landing Sky Clark from UCLA. That's up there as well. So anything that you're looking for, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, Jayden Daniels, Heisman talk, Saints, Jags preseason, and joint practices, it's all there at LouisianaSports.net. It's all free. So appreciate you all for going by and patronizing that. It means a ton, and we've really enjoyed watching the site grow over the course of what is now exactly 2 years since we launched things over at LouisianaSports.net. So really, really cool. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Look, if you don't know the intramuscular fat scale, which grades beef, you probably know the words. You just don't know how to put those together. It starts with select. That's the bottom of the barrel in terms of USDA approved meat. That's like 0 to 3 on the scale. 3 to 8 is choice. That's like 60% of your beef. 8 plus is prime. Prime Angus beef. That's what you get at fine steakhouses, fillets, ribeyes, strips. Prime is the top. And that starts at 8. Sagrera Farms has cows on the farm right now that are 10, 12, 15, 17. In some cases, double prime. And there are only 2 places you can get Sagrera Farms beef. You can get it at Supper Club, or you can get it from Sean Sagrera at Sagrera Farms. That's it. So if you want to get a whole cow, you want to get a half cow, you want to get a quarter, put it in your freezer so you have it ready, like we do at my house. Call Sean Sagrera at Sagrera Farms and make that happen. I give you Sean's number every single week at this time, and I'll do it again. Give him a call, 225-719-1723. 225-719-1723. Say, Sean, heard about you on the Hunt Palmer Show. I want to get some beef. And he's happy to help you with that. It's Sagrera Farms. They bring you our shows every single Thursday. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. said the doctors told him before training camp on his surgically repaired knee, you have an amazing ACL. You shouldn't have any knee problems ever again. So it's Michael Penix having an amazing ACL. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it because
leave it alone.
He probably does have an amazing ACL. They still tear. That's part of it.
He's got some of the worst legs ever, though.
Somebody comes at you submarine in a left tackle and hits you in the knee. I don't care how your ACL looks.
Yeah.
You play on turf a few times a year. Don't care how your ACL looks. Yeah, it's a problem. So I hope Michael Penix has a great ACL. I don't care to see him get his career ended by an ACL injury, but I'm just not convinced that we got an indestructible ACL here. I don't think those exist.
All right, so an 11-year-old boy took thousands of dollars from his family emergency savings before spending $2,000 of those dollars on a Roblox gift cards at Walmart. Toronto parents said their son secretly grabbed an envelope with $3,000 in cash before visiting his grandmother. Later, when the boy's grandmother took him to Walmart to browse the toy section, he slipped away and bought $2,000 worth of Roblox gift cards across 2 separate cash transactions.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a little video game, it's a little microtransactions and all that. So your son will be playing that soon. The kids love Roblox.
Won't.
You're not going to play Roblox?
He's not playing Roblox.
So kids buying...
He's playing baseball, not Roblox.
Any other sport?
Yeah, lots of other sports,
okay.
Not Roblox.
So kids buying $2,000 worth of Roblox gift cards. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to pass. But you got to respect the ingenuity of this kid, swiping the cash and making it happen.
But my thing is, though, who was the cashier that just accepted thousands of dollars?
It's like Home Alone when he books the room.
Yeah, it's like,
this is my dad's credit card. Just let me in.
I'm just not understanding the part where the person at the cash register is like...
Reminds me of a great movie, Blank Check, from my childhood in the 90s. When he gets $1 million and buys a mansion of a house and throws a huge party with private limos and stuff.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy that house with $6 million now. But back then, $1 million was getting you that and that limo full of ice cream.
Don't even.
A little bit questionable, though, that he's got a big crush. He's I don't know how old the kid is in the movie, but there's a romantic relationship.
Oh, that's the movie
Shay,
you was talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know you're talking about now. I know with the girl that's...
A little inappropriate.
Yeah, we ain't got to say it on air. So, an oil and gas executive is suing Starbucks after claiming a wobbly table caused scalding tea to spill into his genitals, leaving him with permanent injuries.
Did not see that coming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I come with it. The lawsuit claims the tea was served with an improper secured lid and suddenly spilled into his lap, groin, and genitals area. He says he suffered burns, disfigurement, emotional distress, and debilitating nerve damage to his genitals. So,
how hot was his coffee?
Hot tea ruining your life. Take it or leave it.
Here's my bet.
Okay.
You know what? I don't know this guy. We'll make you a little bit insensitive here. I bet this guy didn't get that hurt and he's just going for the cash.
Oh, let me add some context. So this happened in 2024 and now it's coming out in 2026.
Okay.
So this is a couple years removed. It's not fresh.
I think this is questionable. This guy may be faking it. We're milking it for the cash. We got a system that allows for the cash. We're going for the cash. This is Kramer, who ends up he gets the hot coffee in Seinfeld and ends up with free cafe lattes for life. Yeah. This has got Kramer vibes to it. I'm not buying it. I think the guy's fine.
Just leave it alone.
I think he's fine. I'm leaving. I think he's just fine.
But
easy for me to say, but I think he's fine.
I just want to know the thought process, going to the lawyer like, I spilled this hot tea. I'm ruined.
I want money.
Yeah, I'm ruined.
I have no satisfaction. My quality of life is shot.
Terrible.
Disfigurement. I need tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions from this multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah, just give me all the cash. That's a wonderful attitude. I love when people do that. So, yeah, that's great.
So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It. Open the show today talking about numbers. If you want my thoughts on it, you can go back and check it out on demand. Hunt on LSU. You can find it on Instagram and YouTube Reels as well. It's all up there. But I gave my thoughts. I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net as well. We also talked about more important things like the Saints practice and the Jaguars. LSU's practice today. LSU got a basketball player, which is good, and an LSU baseball player who's going to take the junior college route for a year. That's at the end of hour number 1. So if you missed the whole show, catch it on demand. The Hunt Palmer Show is there. I know a lot of folks are getting back into routine with school and starting to incorporate more sports talk into their lives that may not have been there in June and July of this year. Come join us. Go find the Hunt Palmer Show on demand wherever you find your sound. Hunt on LSU is our LSU channel. Hunt on Saints is our Saints channel. Thanks to Matthew Paris for giving us a little bit of time from Saints camp. That's it for us. LSU does have practice tomorrow morning. We'll be out on the Ponderosa checking that out. I'll have a practice report at LouisianaSports.net. We'll talk to Preston Guy tomorrow about all of that. Matt's done some great reporting today. He's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place with the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTro's Outdoor Power got some awesome deals. It's a summer clearance sale right now at GoTro's Outdoor Power. 2 locations. One, of course, in Baton Rouge on Airline, and the second one down in Donaldsonville. You can check them out. In Gonzales, look, they got the summer clearance sale. Up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turns. 0% financing is available as well. So again, if you need a new zero-turn mower, up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turns. And it's a huge inventory. They've got the largest Hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana at GoTro's Outdoor Power. You can find it on Airline or, of course, in Gonzales as well. And they got great deals. And the customer service is second to none because they're a local company. The GoTro family has been at this for 22 years. So if you've got a property that needs maintaining, you've got a Hustler or a zero turn that's on its last leg, and you're looking for one, look no further. I've got you covered over at GoTro's Outdoor Power.